Brandon was always a very funny guy, very easygoing, jokester. He thought he was funnier than he was. Like the picture of him with SpongeBob. He was really proud of that picture. On our first date, he told me he wanted to get married and he wanted to have 2 kids. And he wanted to serve 20 years in the Navy. But then we had our next date and the next date and just kind of knew that it was it and we wanted to be together. Before we met, he had had a brain tumor partially removed. He made it seem like it was not that big of a deal. That Christmas, I got pregnant with our son, Gene. And then Emmy was born in 2016. And after she was born, even leading up, like he seemed kind of off about some things. I couldn't really figure out what it was. He fell asleep at my dad's house and was drooling just out of one side of his mouth. They did a scan. His brain was so swollen that you couldn't even see the tumor. He had had a stroke during surgery. It had paralyzed the right side of his body. The pathology came back and it was end-stage brain cancer. And that was one where I was like, okay, like I was preparing myself to not have him anymore. There was really no time to process what is happening. Like, you know, within the span of, 12 hours, our whole life changed and we didn't know what was gonna happen after, I took him to the hospital, but we knew things were never gonna be the same again. He kind of always had the mindset, like, what's the point of being stressed about something that you can't change? Like, this is it, like, we make the best of it. You either make a joke and laugh or you cry. We tried to joke and laugh more than cry. There was one day I told him no one else is allowed to poop. Like, I was done with poop for the day. Then Brandon just laughed, and so then Jean laughed, and we're all just laughing because I'm like, seriously, could you not poop anymore today? Like, wait till tomorrow. I can do it again tomorrow. It got to be Easter time, so they were talking about Jesus dying on the cross, and it's time to talk about when your daddy's gonna die. I knew it was coming, I didn't know when, but I knew I had to tell him. Like, that was literally the hardest part of all, was worrying about the kids. He started deteriorating a lot, like really very quickly. I crawled in bed with him and I held him while he died. And before he took his last breath, I did tell him, it's okay. I just remember leaving thinking, like, now what? Moved out here to Salmonock. I didn't know anybody in town. It's quiet and it's slow and we just needed to heal. My sister had a Y membership. We decided to go together, and so I started working out with her, and that would have been about a year after he was gone. I remember asking about the personal training, and they're like, well, Melissa's your girl.
I was a yogi, believe it or not. Yogini, that's right.
I just love Melissa. Our personalities mesh really well together.
It's amazing what you can learn when you learn to listen.
And that's the big part of it, is learning to
acknowledge
it. Acknowledge this is my grief, this is how I feel.
Right.
Like, she's just been there for me through it, and even with stuff like I didn't know I needed. Like, she's just a great coach, and she's also a great friend.
You're tough. You're a tough mama. I want you to know that I learned a lot from you. And look where you are now.
Yeah.
If you would have thought 2.5 years from where we started to where we're now in this journey together, I don't like to tear up about it, but man, I would like to be as strong as you are.
Not long after Brandon died, I'd be sad and crying, and she's like, what's wrong? Do you miss Daddy? I'm like, yeah, I really miss Daddy. He's like, but it's okay. He's in heaven. We'll see him again. And I'm like, yeah, we will. I'm like, but I'm supposed to be saying that to you. He's a very sensitive, smart, considerate little boy. Emmy is what got us through all of this. She's just the light because Emmy is her daddy's daughter. Melissa calls her spicy. We'll just say that. I know I definitely miss like the way he looked at me. I didn't get to spend the rest of my life with him, but he got to spend the rest of his life with me. He got married and he got his 2 kids. You know, he passed with almost everything he wanted. Now we're at a good spot. We're just gonna make the most of it that we can from here. The Y has helped with that a lot. Like, all my friends out here are just awesome people. And it's nice to have that.